this guy is showing up on my homepage on YouTube just way too much. I don't know why YouTube recommended it. It's just definitely not because I binge watch like dozens of his videos. In my defense, they are addictive. My favorite are about red flags, because you watch them and you like, oh, I don't have this red flag, and I don't have this red flag either. Kind of opposite. I have opposite of this. I'm green flag. I'm walking green flag on this all spectrum. So good. I like myself so much. And also cool to fantasize about like a girl who is green flag like all the way. No red flag at all. Like green girl from Greenland. I don't have money in Denmark, but well, maybe you just give it to me. I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy here. But it got me thinking, like, why I always pick up most incompatible people in my life to be my partners. I won't say they all toxic, but definitely radioactive. I'm afraid I would die at 55 and like I lose my hair and be ugly because of them. But like, I need a guy to pick a partner wisely. I need to do it quickly because like it's a matter of seconds. Somebody could steal my perfect partner. I need a checklist. I need a list of something. Part 1, a list of something. I think you need only 3 things in a good partner. Physical attractiveness, values, and roommateness. So attractiveness is very easy to spot on because like, is they attractive or not? But there is some caveats to this. First, there is a scientific studies that show that people with good moral qualities are more attractive to us. We just presume like that. Being good is kind of hard. So maybe you're not attracted to a person instantly, but you could be attracted to this person later because how good they are. Like, it's science, guys, just science. Don't judge ugly girls too fast. Is that rude to say? Don't judge ugly guys too fast. That's not rude, because it's guys. And we can judge guys' appearance and objectify them. The other thing about attractiveness is that you can change it very fast and very quickly just by gathering a better outfit. Do you like my YouTuber set? Blue and yellow. It took me like 1 hour to look better at camera. You can do this with clothes too. Get your most beautiful friend and just ask them to, well, dress you up. If you care about attractiveness. Person could wear very unattractive clothing, but, well, if you have a sense of style, just dress them. The problem with all this physical attractiveness is, well, it's a kind of low bar. Being attractive is just bare minimum to be a partner. We're looking for somebody who would, like, kill them all in terms of niceness. The second thing is values, and I will talk about them, well, a lot in this video. Values are very important because you can't really change them that much. You can change them like a little bit, like 20% of your values could change over time. In general, I think you should see a person for who they are because, like, you can control their values. They could change or maybe not. You never guess. For example, you love money and like status and everything, and you wearing the same Nirvana t-shirt since 16. Of course, she could lower her standards and you can raise your standards, but, well, it would never be that much of a change. It would be like, well, a good change, nice change, but it's not perfect. And if you like me, you must be thinking like, oh, I could change for this person because of power of love. No, you can't. I guess you can change like a little bit, but not in a big way. If you have very different values, you need to spot them as early as possible. Just look at the top divorce reasons. Lack of commitment, infidelity, too much conflict and arguing, marrying too young, financial problems, substance abuse, domestic violence. All of them could be reframed through a set of values that you have problem with. Commitment is a value. Being committed means you value commitment. Infidelity means you doesn't value loyalty. Conflicts and arguing usually happens when you have different set of values. It's okay to have relationship with person who somehow different from you. But if you have very different values, don't go to this relationship. Like, pick your fights. It's not your fight. Pick another person. There is plenty of them. I know I sound like a normie who says there is plenty of fish in the sea, but yeah, it's kind of true. Like, there is a lot of people. You would be surprised how many people who has the same values with you and who has the same goals and interests and things in life they similar to you. Wasting your time on a person who hates you is noble, but it will not bring you happiness. It's not very good investment of time. The first thing I call roommateness, and it's like, person could be great, but they have a set of habits that prevent them from living together in one apartment with you. There's a lot of people who just dirty or too clean. You can fight about this too. To live together, you need to be good at this. But the problem is you can actually figure out how good person in a home environment until you move in. So I think we will just ignore this. Actually, I think habits could be changed. It's not that big of a deal. Like, you can agree on this. If you can agree, like, in general, you can agree on this too. So I think values here is most important thing. It's just the most important thing when you're trying to find a partner or somebody else. I don't know what you're looking for. So based on this, is that the right person or it's not right person for you? Starting with level 1, friendship. Being friends is actually very easy. Friends is just people who try to have fun together. So if it's not fun to hang out with a person, they are not right person. Simple. Some people saying that friendship is somewhat like a plant. You water plant and it grows and flourish and be an awesome plant. I not entirely disagree with this approach, but I have friends that with whom we meet like once in a 5 years, and it's fun, it's cool, and they're still my friends. So what works for you? Like, I think there is a different approaches to this. It's not a rule. For me, being a friend doesn't cost you anything. You just having fun. You exploit each other for fun. But there is a friends that actually not your friends. They pretend to be your friends to get something from you. So rule number 2, if they take more than they give, they are not the right person to be a friend with. Friendship is balance. It's fair exchange of fun and entertainment. If you only give in your friendship, it's not a good friendship. Cut people who doesn't make your life better. It's not exercise of willpower or competition who is the better friend. They'll be fine. They'll find new friends. And you'll be fine because you will spend time with people you actually like. I prefer to see my friends as an environment that shapes me. I'm trying to hang out with people who actually shares my interests.
You know, Quentin, you think that we're this really great team. We're this really great crew. Well, we are. I mean, you know, this is that time of your 20s. We're like your group of friends or your family, you know? And like, well, we are. Quentin, at 20, I worked at South Bay Cinemas and I hung out with a bunch of guys just like you. And some girls there too. But it was a bunch of guys just like you. And then I stopped working at South Bay Cinema. Then I worked at Miller's Outpost and hung out with a bunch of guys just like you. And we did everything just like we do. We went to movies together. We went out and we dated amongst the girls there, everything. Yeah. Then I worked at Leisure Pizza for 4 years with a bunch of guys just like you. I wasted my life hanging out with a bunch of guys just like you. And they all go away at a certain point. But then, you know, the next thing I knew, you know, I moved out of the South Bay. And then I couldn't move into Hollywood. I couldn't afford Hollywood, but I could afford Koreatown. And that was close enough. And literally the minute I kind of moved out there, I met a guy who wrote low budget horror movies. And then through him, I met other guys that wrote low budget horror movies. And this guy who directs a few low budget horror, and this guy who produces a couple. And well, but yeah, you meet one person and that introduces you to three other people. Now, all of a sudden, I actually knew people who were actually making movies.
If you want to be an actor, you should hang out with actors. If you want to be a screenwriter, you should hang out with screenwriters. Of course, there is friends that you met up early in your life and they're just random people. But if we're talking about people who you just met and plan to be friends with, I think we need to be a little bit more selective. If the person hates when you're trying to grow and be better version of yourself, they are not the right person to be friends with. Level 2, friends with feelings. I must confess, I kind of old-fashioned guy who date real people, so most of people who I date, they were my friends at some point. So if you are using a dating app to meet new people, maybe you'll never have this level. But sometimes you have a crush on somebody who you know. Most important thing here is do not confess. Do not rush with this level. This level is very important for your personal growth. Wait a month or two and just sit around this person and judge them and hate them because they don't see your feelings. Most of the time this level is kind of one-sided, so the only requirements here is they're attractive and have good moral qualities. Another warning, you should not accept this level as a way of existence. Yeah, you know, she dates a guy, but they're not best for each other, so she should pick me. Do not do this. I think I'll just put another rule here. Just if they date another person, they are not the right person to have a crush on. Focus on your life. Assume that people will not change, because they usually don't. Level 3, dating. So you build up a courage to ask her out or ask him out if that's your thing. Rule number 1, to date somebody, they should say yes. I know it's bizarre, but you can't date a person who said no. I was in shock too. I don't think confessing is a big deal. Like, people have feelings all the time. You don't need to perceive them as the love of your life. Kind of, you're a cool person. I would like to date you if you want. And there is nothing bad about rejection. You are not a bad person if they reject you. Maybe people have different goals in their life. Maybe they have a crush on another person. Rejection say more about them than about you. Dating is the way to determine if it's the right person or not. So, if you got rejected before dating, they don't know you. They know nothing about you. This rejection is based just on their predictions and feelings and things about them. And predictions are fantasy. You can control a fantasy. You can be a better person in the fantasy. Or they just think you physically unattractive, but like, you know what to do that, just dress better. So finally they said yes, and you happy as hell. Now you have 2 things to figure out. First, if they like you. I know they said yes, but it doesn't make them the right person. Often in relationship, we want to present the best qualities of ourselves, or just any qualities that other person would like. You. They should like you. A person with flaws and interests and personality. So pay attention to what they say about your behavior, or your look, or way of life. Think about yourself, what you do most of the time, like literally in percentage. Like, if you're a gamer and you game like 30% of your time, or you're shy and you never share your thoughts and you like silent all the time, and they comment on this and they hate this. If they hate the things you're proud of, they are not the right person. Remember the goal here. Your goal is not to be liked by everybody. You just need to find a person who okay with who you are. Don't try to fit yourself in other person's worldview. This is not a goal. The goal is to be liked for who you are. Even if you don't like yourself, it's still you. Rule number 3, you like them for who they are. If they're rude, but they're a good singer, they're still rude. If they're wealthy, but they are boring, they're still boring. One quality doesn't fix another quality. Don't fall into a trap of yes, bad. Try to calm down your positive impression of a person. If they are very nice, but sometimes very angry, can you deal with the angry side without them being nice? Imagine a person doesn't have any positive qualities. Can you still tolerate them? If not, they are not the right person. The problem is when you go deeper into relationship, negative stuff often becomes something that bothers you more and more. Every day you wake up with the same person who still doing these negative things, still doesn't learn, still struggle with that. Someday it just overwhelms you. You need to be okay with their negative stuff. Imagine you're not in love with this person, just a person in your life. Do I still feel okay with them? Another good trick is to recall all good memories with your friends and your family. Can you imagine them with you doing the same thing? Because this is the most happiest moments in your life. And if you can't imagine your partner with you in these happiest moments, guess what? They're not the right person. It's not big of a deal. It's easier to stay as friends in early stages than to get an ugly divorce in later stages. Level 4, marriage. Good job, you guys! So you're happy with the person you choose, and they're happy with you. The first rule here is that you have the same goals. Do you want kids? What city you want to live in? Who would work on their career and who would stay home? These questions are important. People date for 6 years to find out that one person wants kids, another doesn't want kids. And you can change this. Don't trick yourself. You need to have same goals in your life. Talk about them before marriage. And maybe you should not marry each other. Maybe you should just live happily as you are. Not every relationship should end up in marriage. The second rule is even more important. If you can't fix a problem together, you will not be good partners. There will be conflicts in marriage and they will be devastating. You need to be good problem solvers. If your approach is don't talk about the problems, someday it will bite you. So if you don't know how to have a conflict with each other, you shouldn't think about marriage. Find out a way to resolve conflicts before you enter the marriage. And you will be fine. Marriage is just a paper anyway. Level 5, best friends. Yeah, I kind of think best friends better than being married. There is something eternal in the best friends. Dating and marriage is transactional by design. You want something from this person. Best friends doesn't want anything from you. That's why they are the best. It's a clear love without jealousy, without demands or fake image you need to have to be sexy for another person. Best friends like you for who you are. Could be the most intimate relationship in your life. Do not undervalue it. Of course, best friends have the all qualities of friends, but also they have 2 other rules. So rule number 1 here is they care. They stick with you even if you in the worst shape possible. Best friends forgive you because they know who you are. A human with flaws. You don't need to put masks to impress the best friend. And this is the most valuable thing you could have in your life. Person who see you and stay with you despite knowing everything about you. So if the person leave you when you feel awful, this person is not your best friend. The second rule, they put your interests first, even if they disagree with them. The best friend would help you to achieve your goal, even if they don't value it. Maybe I don't think you should be a street musician, but I want to help you to achieve your dream. I love you no matter what. It's okay to be imperfect. Level 5, die in old age by a serial killer who kills only sweet couples. It is just a cheat level for people who marry their best friend. Like, Harry or Sally. It's not necessary by all means. Like, you could be happy just having a best friend and married to a person, but if you combine the best friend and a person, I thought about the rule that I could apply to this kind of fantasy scenario. And I think this rule is very simple. The best relationship in your life expand your world, not shrink it. The best relationship allow you to be the best version of yourself. You should feel yourself. You should be authentic to your core personality. But at the same time, you should feel that things you are good at, they appreciate it by other person. And you capable of doing them more and more. become better version of yourself. It's not something new that you learn from a person. It's not something you think you lack in yourself and they give it to you, and because of that you kind of feel good. Quite opposite. It's qualities that you best at, and you become even more capable of them with this person. If you like long conversations about relationship and red flags, that person should allow you to do this conversation more. This person should encourage you to do them more, and they should enjoy this conversation. If you feel good when you're doing some like sport activities, this person should encourage you to do more sport activities. It's not about lack, it's about abundance of something that somebody else need and love. Your life is literally better with this type of relationship. Is this fantasy? Yeah, of course it is. Like, good luck to find this kind of person. But if you met the person like this in your life, you should stick with this person. So that's my list. It's just my feelings and thoughts. It's not really something that you should apply to your life. If you agree, it's okay. If it's not, well, it's my list. Will I die alone with this list? Yes, of course. I will die alone with this list. But I think I will prefer to die alone than be with the wrong person. Find your love. It's very hard. I wish you best.